fans, welcome back to Room 237, and this is the first video of my new upcoming Italian horror marathon. Although there will be Italian horror, it's mostly going to be Giallo films. I have recently refound my love for Italian horror and especially Giallo films, and as you've seen in a recent video, I did a DVD update. You see I got quite a handful already, and I got a bunch more coming. So I figured, why not start it off with this? It's not the first one I watched. That will be the next one, which is not a Giallo, but this one is. And it's a film from 1975, and this has got to be one of the sleaziest Giallos I've seen. Not quite as much as like New York Ripper, but it's close. Film from 1975. Was it Nude per l'assassino, or as released in America, Strip Nude for Your Killer. And of course, this is the Blue Underground Blu-ray. There is one of Arrow or through Arrow, but I always get Blue Underground. That's my favorite company. And also, this is, I believe, this is the first one I've seen that stars, and I hope I pronounced this right, Edwidge Fenech? Edwidge Fenech. I hope I pronounced that correctly. She is known as the Giallo Queen. She has been in a bunch of Giallos. Several that I'll even get into, like, I believe she's in this one. Nope. For a while, between 1971 and 79, so also when this came out, she was married to Luciano Martino, who was the brother of filmmaker Sergio Martino. He was often the producer on Sergio's films. But she was in the Case of the Bloody Iris. On top of my head, I do know she was in that one. Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. I believe Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, but I could be wrong about that. But she's known as the Giallo Queen. This is the first one I've seen her in. Also stars Nino Castelnuovo, Femi Benusi, Salvi Stubing, and it was directed by Andre Bianchi, or Bianchi, however he pronounces it. I'm terrible with foreign names. And as a Blu-ray, this comes with interviews with actress Salvi Stubing and co-writer Massimo Felicati. Now, I have heard of this one before, and I see this one pop up a lot on sleaziest or best or favorites or even just regular collection videos. And I was surprised that I had not had it yet. Ultra trashy fun, as said by Hysteria Lives. 10,000 Bullets says, enough sleaze and nudity to enchant even the most dedicated Giallo fan. I will say that when it comes to the nudity, gratuitous does not even come close to covering it. And, well, actually, can it be called gratuitous? Because, I mean, the whole story is centered around, there's this a modeling agency with these nude models called Albatross Photography or Albatross Modeling. But anyway, so you have a handful of these nude models. So I guess in a lot of ways the nudity isn't super gratuitous, but there's a lot in here. The blood and gore, a lot of the kills kind of happen off screen. Like the killer will kind of take the victim down and then stab them off camera, and then we see the aftermath. Most of the blood and gore is put towards the climax. There's several different plots going on with this. There's like A, B, C, D plots going on with this. It opens up with this really nicely shot. Blue, like it's got this deep blue look to it. This botched abortion where the woman that is having the abortion dies of some cardiac complications, and her death is covered up. And the first murder that we see, I believe, was, it was the doctor that performed the abortion. So her death was kind of covered up and said it wasn't this, it was something else. And then the doctor is killed. And then all these models and photographers at this Albatross agency are the main targets. Our main characters are photographer Carlo, played by Nino Castelnuovo, and a fellow photographer who wants to be a model, Magda, played by Fennec, and they start an affair together. And then some of the other ones is we have this new hired model, Patrizia, who kind of has a thing with the agency's wife, owner of the agency, the owner's husband, who's sort of like the stereotypical heavy-set, mustachioed, suit-wearing guy. Which, so yeah, there's Patrizia, there's the owner, who's Gisela and her husband. There's Lucia, who's also a new hire, who we see Carlo kind of recruiting her in the beginning. Lucia is played by Femi Benusi, who kind of looks like Barbara Boucher from Don't Torture Duckling and Black Belly of the Tarantula, who I think both of them are just as gorgeous and beautiful as Fennec. And basically, yeah, we just see them one by one get killed. The killer is all leathered out with a black motorcycle helmet. The one photographer is killed in his apartment. It's believed he might be gay. The acting and dubbing is kind of laughable, I will say that. The dubbing is not great for everyone. And the Gisela character, the owner, and this photographer who gets killed, I would say their dubbing is the worst. But like the killers, we all kind of get the idea that those who see the killer know who it is. So like this photographer invites the killer in, and the killer's holding like the motorcycle helmet under his arm. Spoiler alert. And is pouring some J&B until the shot glass is just overfilling, and we just see like the photographer is looking at something and talking and just, do you think you're being funny? You was spilling my whiskey. And then the killer takes out a switchblade and automatically, no. It's pretty funny. But in the aftermath, we see that his pants have been pulled down, hinting that his genitals were mutilated, which we do see in another victim at the very end. There are two detectives who are looking into all this, but the ones that do solve the crime are two of our characters. Because the big thing with Giallo is the person that gets into the mystery and tries to solve it are often not part of law enforcement. So even though we do have law enforcement in this, it's hard to talk about Giallos without spoilers. So I'm going to get into spoilers now, but I will say I do recommend this. If you like overly sleazy Giallos, like New York Ripper, but where the violence is not going to be that high. I mean, yeah, we get some stabbings, and uh, when this one model is killed, I'll say who it is. When Lucia is killed, yeah, we do see Blade kind of go in, and we see nice effects. But it really is just more like sex and nudity driven Giallo. But when there are effects, they are decent. So if you're a Giallo fan, I definitely recommend it. So yeah, definitely see Strip Nude for Your Killer. I will say I did not see this killer coming. Mainly because I got the killer confused with a different character. I thought they were both the same character. So that's why when the reveal came, I was like, wait, what? Oh, and the last thing I'll say before I get into spoilers is I loved the music. It does have kind of like the bass and saxophone kind of noir sound that a lot of Giallos have. Alberto Pisano did the music, but the main theme that we hear, one at like the strip club with the owner's husband, and then just throughout the film in the background, it's sort of like this slide guitar kind of sound. I loved the score. I'll say the score is probably one of the best parts of this. I really enjoyed it. So, I do recommend it. So, spoilers. I thought it does do a good job with this red herrings. At several points, I thought it was going to be the Gisela character. Then I thought it could be a Phoenix character. It does point at her a couple times. I even thought it might be Carlo, but I thought that might be a little too obvious. Then at one point, there's even this one girl that seems to be with Carlo in the very beginning when he meets Lucia. I was like, what if it's her? Just out of jealousy. But I was wrong. And it's actually the new model, Patrizia, who... Because we see the owner's husband with a couple different girls. We see him with, I think it's Doris and Patrizia. And Patrizia's first, the one in the strip club. The second time, he brings Doris to his house and tries to have sex with her. She says no, so he tries to rape her, but he gets a premature attack. Says he's never had sex before, so I guess his wife doesn't touch him. And then he's killed after she leaves. He's killed in his underwear holding a blow-up doll. I'm sure he's looked better than when he was found. But, so I thought those two girls were actually the same. But turns out Patrizia... Her sister was the one that had the abortion in the beginning. And they were super close. And Carlo was involved with helping cover her death up. So she got her revenge on the modeling agency. And Carlo and Finneck are the ones that... Finneck kind of starts putting it together first by looking at pictures and newspaper clippings, and then pulls Carlo into it. But they're the ones that solve it first. Because in Giallo's Israeli law enforcement. But I didn't see it being her, that character. Because like I said, I thought her and Doris were the same character. So when Doris gets killed, which... When Doris and her abusive boyfriend or husband, Stefano, who at one point it makes him look like the killer too, even though we don't see him that much. When they're killed, we see their aftermath, and One of her breasts is removed. His genitals are mutilated. He's got stabs and slashes all over him. I will say there is like a little rip in the latex, so you can see his beard underneath. But yeah, one of her breasts is removed. His genitals are mutilated. That's probably the most graphic scene, violence-wise. But we also see that as an aftermath shot. We don't really see it with the stabbing and it actually happening. But yeah, I thought this was enjoyable. It definitely kept me interested. Really loved the music. I thought the music was really solid. It kept me guessing all the time, because every time I thought, well, maybe it's this person. You know, like a good Giallo does. It keeps you guessing with the red herrings. Didn't see the killer coming. I believed the resolve at the end. So I was like, oh, okay, her sister died. The guy involved with this agency helped cover it up so that she becomes a model, gets revenge on everyone. Alright. So, yeah, I was very pleased with this. So that is Strip Nude for Your Killer, and stay tuned for more Italian horror films, and especially Giallo films. If you're new to the channel, I have done a marathon already, and I have two playlists. I have a playlist of all Italian horror, and then I have a playlist of just Giallos, so feel free to check those out. But once again, 1975's Strip Nude for Your Killer, directed by Andre Bianchi. I actually really dug it. Pretty sleazy. And yeah, stay tuned for more. So, thank you for watching.